can't go wrong with Now It's Dark.
Hey everybody, welcome to Now It's Dark. I just watched a movie on Tubi called Beware the Boogeyman, 2024, 1 hour and 50 minutes. Yep, that's a long movie for a Tubi movie, and it felt like it at certain points. Let me go on. For her first day of orientation, Dr. Tristian Mackenzie makes her way to the Silverdale Psychiatric Hospital for the criminally insane, where she learns of the strange series of cases from the similarly strange Dr. Moon. And Dr. Moon is a chick. And every female in this movie are those very attractive. They don't look like they would be doctors, and you'd be lucky to have a doctor that looked as attractive as some of these. Um, there's multiple directors and multiple writers, and that should be a tip that this is an anthology. I didn't know that going into it. I was kind of semi-excited about it because the interaction between the Dr. Mackenzie and the Dr. Moon made me feel like I might be in for a very long movie because, the acting's a little mid. And yeah, I was afraid that this was going to kind of go off the rails. So directors are Calvin, Morie, McCarthy, Tim Cole, and Josh Dietrich. And Tim Cole and Josh Dietrich also did some writing along with Kai Pacifico Eng and Dr. Tristian, and I'm saying that correctly. It's not Tristan, it's Tristian Mackenzie, is played by Elissa Dowling, and Airisa Durand, who has no picture on IMDb, what's up with that, plays Dr. Gabby Moon. And there are a bunch of other characters, too many to list because it's an anthology. And so we get the doctors meeting each other at the Silverdale Psychiatric Hospital for the criminally insane because Dr. Mackenzie is there to basically apply for an open position. And Dr. Moon spends a very long amount of time talking about how underqualified she feels that Mackenzie may be because of the intensity of the patients at the hospital. And they have their little tete-a-tetes and they go back and forth, and Dr. Mackenzie keeps ensuring her how she can handle it. She's worked in facilities that were small like that. Dr. Moon's like, well, there's 27 residents here and only 5 doctors, so we're really outnumbered and blah blah blah. So then the um, doctors kind of continue the little interview. There was some Easter eggs when the doctors were walking to the office to conduct the interview. They kind of went past some of the other doctors, and the names are Easter eggs. So if you do watch this, listen for those names and see if you pick up any of those. So while Dr. Moon is trying to impress upon Dr. Mackenzie how insane and how crazy things are at that hospital, she decides to share some of the most extreme cases of the bizarre and unnatural. And Dr. Mackenzie was all in for it. So that's how we find out that this is actually going to be like a anthology, and it's broken up into 5 case files. It's not chapters, it's not whatever, it's case files. So we have case file 1, which is where we have our first look of the Boogeyman, because this movie is called Beware the Boogeyman. And the Boogeyman is the continuous thread through the different case files, as the Boogeyman, however brief, does make appearances in these. And there's also like a very predominant green hue associated with his appearance, or their appearance. Let me be politically correct. I don't know. It's called a boogeyman. Could be a boogie person. I am not even sure. The first story is about Kathy. she's on a date with this guy called Glenn. She brings him back to her place. They start talking. She's afraid to sleep alone because of a scene that happens before the date, and because I don't want to spoil it. And she asks Glenn what's the scariest thing that he's ever been through or whatever, and they exchange these little stories. It's not a bad start. I was optimistic with this first case file. Then we got case file 2 with Olivia, who just bought like a cabin on like a lake or something. It's not a very like beautiful lake. It's like a fishing community kind of thing is what it looked like to me. And she's there to paint. And I noticed in this second case file that there was two different predominant things that also appeared in the first case file, and that was the use of a record player and also just a pill bottle being kind of like in the set. So you realize that these characters are undergoing some sort of medical treatment for their psychosis or whatever. This story just did kind of drag on. It wasn't horrible. Like I said, she's a painter, and at a few different points through her case file story, she noticed that her painting had some different black marks on it that she hadn't put there. So that causes her to think that maybe somebody popped in, blah, blah, blah. She's also scared, has to take a shower. So we got some boobies. And now I'm thinking, oh, okay. We're 2 case files in and we've got a pair of tatas on the screen. So that saved case file 2. Otherwise, it kind of ended very blandly. And then we have 3 more chapters that are all equally not so good. Not as good as the first, not as good as the second. Also, sadly, no more boobs or anything that could have like kind of saved those stories. Then we kind of recap back with the doctors, uh, you know, at the end of the stories. And oh, it's getting late. It's a Sunday. You should be spending time with your family. Thanks for coming in to the interview today. And I was like, okay, that was weird. So Dr. Moon is going to escort Dr. Mackenzie out. Oh, wait, I forgot my coat. Let me go back to my office. And then it's a little different. I'm not going to spoil because it's not like, I don't know, if you like anthologies, this isn't the worst I've seen. It's definitely not the best. It's only 5 stories, but they do go on a little long. I think an hour and 50 minutes for this movie might have been 20 or 30 minutes too long. They could have tightened up some of the stories and kind of amped up the suspense and tension and the Boogeyman character itself, because I don't know that they did a good job of fleshing out the terror of the Boogeyman in this movie. But it's not like ridiculously horrible. But so take that with whatever. If you'd like to go see it, it's on Tubi for free, or you can pay $2.99 now at Amazon Prime. It will be $2.99 you'll never see again. So go see it on Tubi. Beware the Boogeyman 2024. Just be prepared. It's an hour and 50 minutes. So you will get some moments of during this movie, because I did. And that's going to do it. Keep coming back to the channel for more great stuff.